Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larsen Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larsen, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with Dancin Pete Rodda from Complementary Horsemanship, and we want to thank you for joining us this week. We hope you had a very nice Easter weekend. Hope you got some good British Cadbury's chocolate like us.
Yes, we did. Thank you, Neil.
Yes, we have a wonderful lineup for the show. We have a very special guest in the studio, Jennie Towner from Saddle Up Scholars. I'm very excited to talk to her about that program. It sounds absolutely marvelous. Then we had a chance to chat with none other.
Talk with Tick.
Yes, Talk with Tick. And Tick Maynard, of course, won the World Championship Colt starter at Road to the Horse, which is a bit of a big deal. And he is located right here in Citra with his amazing wife, Sinead, who is a top 3-day eventer. He is an author, an eventer, an equestrian, a clinician, and he is now...
And a nice guy.
Oh, and a nice guy. And he's also a world champion now, so it was very exciting to do episode 1 with him. We're going to have quite a few episodes where we chat about him and the team that he put together, who really, really were a great support system for him so he could have this win. And of course, Jake is one of those. Jake is not featured in episode 1, but he will be later on. He got some wonderful heartfelt comments from him in that series, so we're very excited about that. We have episode 1 with Dan Millstead from Equine Turf, who is talking about what you should be doing with your paddocks so that you have grass and not weeds, and so your place actually comes up the way you'd like it to, whether you're struggling with no grass or grass problems or sand problems or whatever you need to know. So Dan is going to have episode 1 tonight, and then Tommy Turner is on a walk and stop with none other than
Dancin
Pete. So he's going to talk a little bit from Equifence of Florida on fencing issues that you might have. So we're going to get your paddocks right and your fences right, because that's important if you have horses, right?
That's really important.
Very important. Seminole Feed. They are celebrating, can you believe it?
90 years.
Woo-hoo. Right here in the horse capital of the world. And they are going to have a wonderful celebration on April 13th. Pete and I will be there. Pete doesn't know it yet. But
Okay.
Door prizes for the first 50 customers. Lots of giveaways, chances to win, sales, discounts, store savings, a community tack and equipment sale, which there could be some great opportunities there to get some great deals on things. So check it out online. You can see all the savings. They've got $1 off Seminole Feeds, and that's all happening at the 2 locations. The Bellevue location is 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then the 40 West location is 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So not the downtown location. So April 13th, don't forget, 90 years. That's a big wow.
Big wow.
A big wow, yes. We want to remind you again about the Equa First Aid. We're very excited that this opportunity is happening right here in Citra at Midnight Rose Equestrian.
12th of May.
Yep, 12th of May. It's only $99. And what's your favorite thing to say?
Because you are their first responder. So this is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yes. And I just want to say, the more you know, the less likely you are to need your vet. And I don't know if you know this, but we do have a shortage of equine veterinarians, and they're overly worked and overly taxed, and they're spread thin. So if you can possibly, we're not telling you not to call your vet.
Yeah, don't
No, but
don't
we
not
are
call
telling
your
you
vet.
that if you know these basics, you might actually not need to call the vet, or you might call the vet, and when the vet's on the way, you might be able to say, I managed.
And the vet I
sorted
used to
it
run
out.
with used to say, have their vitals before you give them Banamine.
Yes.
Because when they show up and the Banamine's already on board, now it's being masked.
Right.
So they're like, okay, is this good? Did it make a change? Or did it not make that big of a change?
And how wonderful to know if you should give the Banamine. If your
Yes.
vet's 5 or 10 minutes away and it's very convenient, you might not need to, you might want to wait. So those things are really important, but this is wonderful because it's going to teach you vital signs, bandaging, even detecting if your horse actually does have a colic or something else. So this is fantastic. 10
From
a.m.
beginners
to 2 p.m.
to all the way to professionals.
Yep, and Equicool Down is a sponsor of this. Very great friend of mine. She did a fabulous job at the WEC Expo, and we love her to bits, Christiana. So Maria's going to be doing this with great folks, and this is going to be in Citrus. So make sure you get signed up for that. I want to thank the Leedies, Eddie and Tammy Leedy, because I actually got to ride one of their horses in training, which was a very nice experience. I got to ride Mercy, and Eddie there is on Lancelot. And these two horses are going to be very special in our community in the very, very near future. And then after a little ride around through the barrels and the pool noodles and all over, I actually got to take Mr. Flynn down to the water and let him play in the river down there, which is just a little hop, skip and a jump down the hill there to the river. I didn't realize they were so close to the forest and the greenway trails, and so I got to take Flynn down there and let him paddle a little bit, and it was really, really nice to finally ride him again.
Very good.
After so long, and he was so wonderful. He went right through the barrels and really was a really good boy. Acted like he wasn't all green like I thought he was. Do you know what green means?
No, what does green mean? I have no idea.
I just realised some of our listeners might not know that means can be rather novice.
What does novice mean?
A bit of a beginner. He wasn't quite sure about stepping over that thing, but he got over it really quick and said, okay, I'm supposed to step over it. Anyway, he did well. I was very proud of him. He'd never walked through barrels before, and all I can say is he makes me look good. He makes me look like I learned from Pete.
Come on, Mom, I'll take you through this.
I know, right? Shout out to Ocala Dog Ranch, where they have some absolutely amazing events, and boy oh boy, I'll tell you what, they just keep on doing more. Every time I think, wow, what's Neil doing in his spare time? He doesn't have any. Ocala Dog Ranch had an absolutely wonderful kind of almost like a corgi party over there, where corgi owners could all get together, bring their corgis in, and a lot of horse owners have corgis. You know that? There's a lot there. It's almost as much as Jack Russell's, I think. But how wonderful that this is such a great opportunity to just people to come together and talk about a breed that they love.
It's like a family reunion. I wonder if they split tails and no tails.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tails and no tails.
And we had Santa show up.
That's right. So I thought, what a great idea to get the word out there to different organizations that have different dog breeds, to say, look, there's a place that you can rent and you can all kind of get together and meet and
tell stories
and learn about each other's dogs. And they have a pool there as well for dock diving and competitions and practice, and they have boarding and training and you name it.
And because we got some chocolate from Neil, I wore my Ocala Dog Ranch shirt just for Neil, because I know he's watching. So I appreciate the shirt, Neil. And the chocolate.
That's absolutely fantastic. I love it. He only does that for those that he loves, by the way.
That's right.
Quick reminder, don't forget that this November we are having the Equine Industry Expo and the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games and Horse Capital Parade all in one weekend at the Florida Horse Park.
But because Louisa didn't have enough to do for one day.
And then Friday evening I'm helping organize the extravaganza, which is also there. So we pretty much are just not going to go to bed from Friday morning to probably very, very late Saturday night. But it's going to be an incredible opportunity to learn about the equine industry, to learn about jobs in the equine industry. Obviously, this is focused on a kind of a local, but you know these jobs exist all over the country and all over the world. So it's a great opportunity to learn about careers, then to do sports on stick horses, and then to see an all-breed parade. And we're hoping
so
for
put it on your
horses.
calendars, November 22nd.
November 22nd and 23rd at the Florida Horse Park. So get that on your calendar now, and it's free admittance for everybody, which is wonderful. So we'll be back in just a few minutes with Jennie Towner. Stay with us. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Equestrian. It's not just a word but a title. It comes paired with hard work, discipline, and talent. LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Introducing the Hoofling system, powered by LipChip, where a microchip becomes a secure key to unlock temperature, register for your next event, and keep track of required documents. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now. Broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Barnes, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the CEP's Equine Studios with my co-host Dancin, Pete Rodda from Complementary Horsemanship. Mm-hmm. Very special guest we have here in the studio with us. We have Jennie Towner joining us from Saddle Up Scholars. And I love the name of that because you may not know this, but a lot of things that we do here in the horse capital of the world put horses and education together. Mm-hmm. So I love horses and education together. And what you guys are doing is amazing. So tell us a little bit about how this started. You were an educator yourself.
Yes.
And a horsewoman yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my co-founder, Wynn Lewis, she and I have been friends. We're competitors. We're both educators. And we had been kind of dreaming up along the way what we could do together in education. We both have a community college background, and we came up with Saddle Up Scholars because we really view education as a social justice imperative. And we really wanted to pair together the benefits that students get from working with horses to their academic success. Because when students are successful academically, the future path really just opens up, whether it's going directly into college and then into a career, or in a sustainable career right from high school. We wanted students to know all the paths that are available and the lessons that we learn from horses about stick-to-itiveness, confidence, courageousness, that all couples together. So Saddle Up Scholars, we work with equestrian outreach organizations up and down the East Coast. Those organizations provide riding opportunities for under-resourced youth, and Saddle Up Scholars provides academic support for our scholars. And
I love this photo.
we work with the most amazing students. We are just so lucky that we are able to work with them, and we're so thankful for being able. We're 1 year in and just growing, and it's been exciting.
Can't believe it's only been a year, and look at that already. My goodness.
Yes.
Now tell us about Dominic Merritt, I
Yes.
believe is the
Yes.
name, right?
Yes.
Of the
Yes.
person. Yeah.
Yes. Dominic is one of our inspirations for starting Saddle Up Scholars. So I met Dominic when he was a student at Hartford Community College, where I worked. And he was in our program, our student empowerment program called the My College Success Network. And he met with his academic success coach, and he said to her, "I really love horses." And she said, "You have to meet Jennie Towner." So he came into my office and he said, "I just love horse racing and I love horses." And I said, "I ride horses." I said, "So you ride?" He's like, "Well, not really, but I love racing in particular." He knew all the thoroughbred bloodlines. And so then we started talking, and I happened to know the Boniface family, that they had a Preakness winner right in Maryland. They took him in under their wing. They taught him everything about racehorses and riding, and his career really took off. And now he's working for Todd Pletcher. He just won the Thoroughbred Industry Employee Awards, the Newcomer Award.
Wow.
He has made an amazing career for himself.
Wow.
But the horses and the lessons he's learned has really brought him there, and has taken him to places in his life that I don't know if he would have had those experiences if he didn't have those opportunities through the horse
working
racing.
for Todd Pletcher, wow, that's like straight to the top there, isn't it? So.
Yes, he went out to Breeders' Cup. He attended the Eclipse Awards.
I probably passed him.
Wow. Yeah, he's amazing. And so he's mentoring for us with Saddle Up Scholars.
Fantastic.
Because he knows how horses and that dedication really is possible. And he wants to send that message to our students that it is possible to stay with this.
Fantastic.
Do you find that students, because this is what I find when I teach, that you'll find students that are having trouble learning and you'll actually help them find a way to learn through the horses?
Absolutely. So a lot of times with writing, for example, that can be very intimidating. Like, how do I set up this 5-paragraph essay? But we kind of talk about it like, when you're breaking down working with a horse, there's just certain steps that you take. You groom them, you saddle them, you ride them, you have your cool down, and that's kind of like the steps to creating an essay. Or when you see a math problem that's so intimidating, well, remember when you were so scared to canter and then you did it and you loved it? The same thing will happen with math. And so you just need to keep working at it. Practice makes perfect. And you really reap the rewards. And so it's great to make those parallel connections with our students.
Now, you're based in Baltimore.
We are based in Baltimore, but we work with groups in Philadelphia, Albany, Memphis. We're working with the Arnett House down here in Ocala.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, we provide our services virtually because that allows greater access. Students don't have to worry about transportation to get to a tutoring place. It also helps to kind of tackle the digital divide that, digital is where we're learning now. And so students need to know how to be able to use technology for learning. And so we're able to accomplish that through Saddle Up Scholars.
That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
And, one of the things we see here with gentle carousel miniature therapy horses that go into our elementary schools, we find kids who are absolutely nonverbal, who didn't want to have kind of any social interaction at all, suddenly want to talk, suddenly want to ask questions about horses because they take a horse and a book, and the book is about the horse, and they take them into the elementary schools, and we see amazing things. And of course, you know, Jenna from MTRA,
Yes.
we see wonderful things with both physically and mentally disabled folks, even emotional, issues. We see when horses are in the picture, everything changes. So with your under-resourced community that may not have access to horses suddenly have access through your program, that has to open a lot of doors that perhaps were closed for those young folks.
Yes. Yeah, another inspiration is through the Work to Ride program. Kareem Rosser was a student who participated in Work to Ride, an outreach organization in Philadelphia. He got a polo scholarship because he learned how to play polo at Work to Ride.
Wow.
Went to Colorado State University, got a degree in finance. Now he's on the board for Work to Ride.
Wow.
So, and he's amazing. We had the opportunity to
giving
meet
goosebumps.
him. Yeah. And, I rode in college. Our scholars will be able to ride in college. They just need to know the pathways there and everything that's possible. So that's what it's all about.
It's really amazing. And you've only been doing this, just over a year?
Just a year, but we really started brainstorming in 2022. And then we met with Mr. Schuster of the Schuster Foundation, which is our largest program in Baltimore. We met with him because we wanted to work with the students in the program, the outreach program he's created. And he really encouraged us to take off. He was very supportive, not just in working with the students, but in helping us get started. And we'll never forget that support. And we're able to reach more students now, and we're just grateful.
I just love what you're doing.
Well,
How do
thank you.
people find you, get more information, website, social media?
Yes, please visit our website, www.saddleupscholars.org. All of our information is on there. Also, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram, also on LinkedIn. So we just want to be connected and share all the great things that we're doing, all the connections we're making.
And what kind of riding do you do?
I do the jumpers.
Oh,
Yep,
you do
I do
the
the adult
jumpers.
jumpers. Yes, and I have really lucky to ride some amazing horses. So.
Well, we have this bag, loves to be see-through here, but we, because it's yellow, the color I said don't wear. But this is a goodie bag from Piranha. It's got some amazing things in it. Wonderful, and got some products you can sample, and then nice small travel size for maybe if you want to go and ride your horse on the beach or something like that.
Great.
And then a horse talk show brush, which was actually lasered at Locographics, so you get one of those to travel around around on your visits and things.
Great.
So we just have a minute and a half left. So last thing I just want to ask is, you obviously find this very rewarding. What is one of the most rewarding things for you to see when you do this?
I love to see the confidence in the students being proud of themselves and their academics. So I have gotten text messages, and Wynn has gotten text messages from students. Thank you so much. I got an A on that paper. Can you help me with this math assignment? Parents reaching out to us and saying, we really appreciate all your support. We don't have time, or we're not able to provide this support, and we're just so grateful that you're there. So that is what gives me goosebumps and is what drives us to reach more students.
That's amazing.
Thank
Horses
you.
are wonderful, and they do so much for us. Well, we thank you for what you do. I'm very excited to have met you. Thank you to Jenna at MTRA for the introduction. And we might have a little bit of footage coming in the next couple of weeks of us at the beach. Could be fun.
Oh boy.
Saddleupscholars.org for more information. What a wonderful program. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank you so much. This is fun.
We'll be back in just a few minutes. We got some Tick Maynard for you, so stay with us. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Our television broadcast sponsor, Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors, DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires. I'm Pat with Pat Myers Electric. Equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure that you can achieve your vision for a beautiful, safe, and functional horse facility. From new construction to rewiring and updating, the Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a small farm of our own, we truly understand the unique concerns of the horse owner. Don't take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Brannaman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show, Equus Television Network, the CEP's Equine Initiative, and 97.3 The Sky. I'm here with co-host and friend, Dancing Pete Rodda, and we have the pleasure and honor of speaking again to Tick Maynard, clinician, top equestrian, 3-day eventer. I could go on, but let's just go ahead and add World Championship Colt starter at Road to the Horse, which is just adding yet another accolade to Tick. Tick, we love having you here in Ocala. It's so awesome that we have so many top equestrians and adding such an incredible win as this. But I'd like to start by asking you to explain what Road to the Horse is for our listeners and viewers who may not know.
Well, Road to the Horse, and Pete actually might know more of this story than I do, so he can feel free to jump in. But you know, as far as I know, there's been competitions for top show jumpers, top eventers, Western people, whether they're reining or cutting, and for a long time there was no way to show what people that are starting colts are doing. Like, it's one of the most important jobs in horses, and yet there's no fame for them. There's no competition for them. There's they don't make as much money as these other people, and so this competition I think got started in 2003 with the goal of showcasing people that start horses and trying to draw a little bit more attention to them and trying to give them a little bit more importance, because a lot of people I think of colt starting not as like a sport or an art, but almost like a trade, almost like a plumber or a carpenter. And, as we all know, not all plumbers and carpenters are created equal. You have some that are they're just trying to get through the day to day, and there's some that have a very, huge grasp of how everything works and how everything fits together. And I think it's the same with...
That's a really good comparison.
With people that start horses,
yes.
I think there's people that just...
You should write a book.
Yeah. Well, that's because he did.
Because he did.
We have an electrician like that we're very good friends with, who's one of our show partners. Yeah. And it's a meticulous art, especially on horse farms. Yeah. On horse farms, Pat Myers Electric they're so meticulous. Yeah. And then there might be others, I don't know, but there might be others that just go in and do the job.
Yeah, there's some people that can step into a situation, with whatever their trade is, and they can just find a way to almost think like that or visualize that, and they sort of take that trade and it becomes an art. So anyway, they played around with the format a little bit over the years, but for the last 20 years, essentially they have 3 or 4 people. One year they had 2 people, and one year they had 6 people. But usually it's 3 or 4 people, and they come together in sort of they're all in one arena. There's 3 or 4 round pens set up, and they've got a timeline each day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. And usually they have 5 judges. They drop the high score and they drop the low score. And they're sort of judged and marked on how well they start these horses over 3 days.
And how much time total do they get before the end final?
Yeah. So on Friday, you have an hour and a half. It's an hour and 45 minutes of running time, but there's 15 minutes of mandatory breaks. Same thing on Saturday, an hour and a half. And then on Sunday, you have 20 minutes to warm up in the round pen. And then after that, you're supposed to ride out and go straight into a 35-minute obstacle course and mandatory rail work that you're supposed to show with that horse. So basically, after 3 hours of training, you're supposed to be able to walk, trot, and canter and go around, over, and through a little mini course.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. And
Isaac's not even a horseman, and his eyes just went like this. Like, wow. Now, tell us how the horse selection works. How do you pick your horse?
So they bring in, they try to make it as fair as possible, which is obviously hard to do because every horse is different. Every horse has a slightly different conformation, a slightly different, way of going, slightly different behaviors. So some horses might buck more, other horses might buck less, that kind of thing. But essentially what they do is they have 14 3-year-old geldings, all from the same ranch, all from the same field, and all with similar bloodlines. So, while it can never be 100% fair, they're trying to make it as fair as possible.
Yes,
right? And they bring them all in from this big ranch in Texas, the Pitchfork Ranch. I actually have the hat on right now.
Pitchfork Ranch.
Pitchfork
I love
Ranch.
it.
And they bring them all to Kentucky and they unload them, and you're allowed one day, to just observe them as they're in this little paddock, essentially. You're not allowed to go up to them and touch them or interact with them, but you're allowed to observe them. And then on Friday morning before we compete, you're supposed to pick one. And there's 4 of us competing, and so you just draw out of a hat to see who picks first. And then you just pick one and hope for the best.
So
hope for the best.
Yeah, hope for the best. Tell us about your choice. Why did you pick the horse that you picked?
So basically, I had a pretty close team of people around me that were there with me. Jake Birnbaum, who you guys
Absolutely
know,
love
fantastic
Jake,
Colt starter. He's done a lot of,
Yes.
helped me a lot get ready, a lot of coaching. He's just down the road. Nick Rivera from Wisconsin, who was my pen wrangler.
Yes, I know Nick.
Juliet and my wife, Sinead. So there was 5 of us. And we met, we all watched the horses, and we met every morning. And basically, a third of the criteria was their bloodlines, and I'm not an expert on that, so I was relying a lot on other people for that. What do their bloodlines show? Are they more likely to be curious and slow, or more likely to be, anxious and excited, or what does that show? The second thing is their conformation. Do they have high withers or not? What does their back look like? Do they look like a horse I'd like to ride? Are they big or small? And then the third thing is their behavior as we see them. Are they curious? Are they quick to kick at another horse? Are they confident? Do they, are they first off the trailer or last off of the trailer? And to be honest with you, I really, it was tough for me. I relied a lot on the team around me to help put together a list of horses that we were going to pick. That was probably the least confident part of the whole
and matching your style also, because if you are more of a slow, methodical, you don't want a horse that's running and jumping and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's also what the person in the competition has to be accustomed to.
Yes, and I think, Pete, that's probably something you see a lot as you help people with their horses is, does the horse's personality mesh with the person's personality?
Right. And that's great if you have 2-3 years to mesh the two, but when you only have 3 hours, it's like, I better mesh today. That's great.
So, and then breed and age of horse.
So they're all quarter horses, and they're all 3-year-olds. There's not, Pete, I'd be interesting to talk to other people about this, but in my opinion, there's not many different breeds of horses you could do this format with.
I think
What do you think?
I think you could do it with any breed.
And you think you'll get just as far considering with the same people?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Well, because it goes to, like, when I starting warm bloods, all my buddies were like, how do you do that? And I said, well, you're less likely to come off because they're so high up in the air. And they were laughing, and I'm like, But it's really not a different process.
It's not different, but do you feel like...
Now, I think they do it at 3 years old, and you might have to go 4-year-old or something like that for some breeds because people are more in that. But when you're at 3, I think it would be, the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think we separate the breeds too much because just like you've seen the thoroughbreds that act more like quarter horses, and you've seen the quarter horses that act more like thoroughbreds.
Absolutely.
So, but I think it's also the technician that's in the competition.
Definitely.
I mean,
incredible, really. So a 3-year-old quarter horse that hasn't had anything done with it at all. So this is you got to go out there and start the horse.
Yeah, the first day when you first step into that round pen, a lot of times people can't even catch their horse for half an hour. Like you really can't just walk up to these horses. They've seen people before. They lived on a ranch, but they were in like probably a 20 or 30,000 acre field.
And they've been castrated, vaccinated, and barely halter broke because that's what they just had to get something done, and then they threw them back out. So you're actually not a good person to them, other than that they've probably been fed hay, and that's about it. And then they got castrated and manhandled.
Yeah.
So that's a really a neat experience, really exciting experience. And we have to wrap up this segment. Talk with Tick is what we're going to call this. And we will have more segments with him, and you can learn more about the Colt starting. Larsen Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larsen, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Hey there, horsemen. Are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? LipChip is ready to revolutionize your barn. Built by horsemen, for horsemen. LipChip knows how you ride. If you're tired of carrying around paperwork, dealing with long trailer lines, and juggling all your horse's details while trying to compete, then the answer is the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Each scan reveals everything you need to work, compete, and to protect your horses. View current health paperwork, pre-register for your next event, and even check in on your horse's health. Horsemen, let's keep our horses safe and make our lives at the barn a little easier. The future is here, and the future is LipChip. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Centre, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centres for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specialising in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that can talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now, here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton! She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Rolling. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show, the Equus TV network, and Sky 97.3. I'm here with a gentleman I've known for quite a long time, Dan Millstead from Equine Turf. He has actually been in the equine turf business for over 30 years, which is hard to believe. But with all of his experience, we felt like it would be a great opportunity for horse owners to learn a little bit about their paddocks, what they should and shouldn't do, how they can keep their grass, maybe grow grass. But first of all, let's talk a bit about Dan. Dan, thanks for being with us.
Oh, quite welcome. Excited to be here. Yeah.
Tell us a little background about you and Equine Turf.
Well, it all started 30 years ago. I was in the golf business, became a golf course superintendent, and one thing led to another. One of my chemical reps told me about a horse property that wanted a golf guy. So I went and met them, and one thing led to another, and I ended up working for them. And we had big horse shows, and people kept asking the owner, who does your grass, who does your grass? And she jokingly, kind of seriously said, why don't you make some pamphlets and do this on the weekend? And one thing led to another. 13 years ago, Equine Turf started, and it just kind of blown up. So yeah, so the golf, I think, helps me. I call that like the boot camp of turf, and a lot of customers get scared knowing that I'm from golf, but it just helps me with all the soil testing, looking for diseases. I learned so much in the golf world, and it relates to our equine turf, you know, our Bahayas, our Bermudas, and all that. So it's a lot to it, and the main thing is just getting a good game plan and treating your property. It's a living thing, grass. So a couple times a year, there's different things we do, and that'll help you in the long run, staying on top of it. Nothing's a one and done. You know, it's a constant.
It's a maintenance.
Yes, but you know, all our goals is to have where you can have a budget for the year, and you know, okay, this time of the year we're doing this time of the year we're doing this, and then it helps everybody not have these peaks and valleys. You know,
and certainly it must be difficult in Florida because it's not all, we have this wonderful loam soil in Ocala that we're very grateful that we have. It's a wonderful soil, and with the limestone, often grass is rich and wonderful, maybe even too rich in some cases. But as you move out from that central area of Ocala, and you get closer and closer to the coast, I think you get sandier and sandier and sandier. So you've got to fight obviously sand concerns with horses if they pick up too much, because they can get a sand colic. So you don't want to have a really sandy field unless you need to put your horse out on just dirt for some reason, because he can't eat grass. So there is a little bit of a struggle. And then we also have this feast or famine with rain here at times, where we have very wet summers sometimes, but very dry winters. So you have to fight often sand. You often have to fight the climate, because we might have a very drought type period of time as well. So there's lots of things to fight to keep that grass growing. And then of course, because we have all that rain, we do grow a lot of weeds as well that come up that have to be managed as well. So there's a lot of pieces to having that perfect paddock.
It is, and you touched on something a bit ago. We've had a lot of, I should say, more rain this winter, and we've had some warm nights thrown in there, and that just makes all the weeds pop before our desired grass, like Bahia, Bermuda, St. Augustine, Zoysia, any grass that grows in Florida. We need 65-degree nighttime temperatures for 10 days in a row to get our grasses growing. Well, you can look back, we'd have 4 or 5 days, 68, 69, and then a 48-degree night. And then, so the weeds pop up, the grass tries to pop, and then it goes back to dormancy, goes back to sleep. So, and that's called the transition time. Every year, transition time is different. In my last 30 years, every year is different. And so that's just staying on top of it and understanding the climate and understanding our grasses, you know. So
you can do everything from the first soil test to getting rid of the weeds safely on the horse farm, to helping somebody maybe start completely fresh to grow grass, or to fill in the spots, and you can advise how to do that, how to maintain it, how to keep up with it. And even if you're a golf course owner, you can help too. So whether you want that pristine residential backyard or you just want more grass in your paddocks so you don't have to feed as much hay. We love our Larsen hay people, but you know, if we can save a little money on hay because we've got grass as horse people, we love that. And then there's the whole visual, you know, side of it as well, where you don't want to drive up to your house and be a sand pit. You want that pretty front yard, and then you want nice green paddocks.
Yeah, and that's what I like to go after is healthy roots, because we all know horses are little rototillers, and so we go after that. Get your turf healthy. You know, I always say you want the grass to be the bully, not the weeds to be the bully.
Right.
And so, and it just takes time. You know, get a good game plan, and that's what I keep trying to let people know. You know, one thing about Bahia, which is 90% of our pastures, it's a great grass, but it's very slow to get it established. So it takes time, and then, you know, just feeding it properly, checking for diseases, insect control. It sounds like a lot, but once you get going, and then it's just a nice, smooth, and then you're going in the right direction. Not, you know, I spent all that money on that, and nothing happened. You know, it's...
At least if you have a plan.
Yes, a plan, and I'm a big believer in doing tests, soil tests, tissue tests, disease tests, because I've learned the hard way. You believe everything you hear, and then, so get it tested, and then
you know where to begin.
Exactly, no guessing, because time and money is time and money,
So tell us, how do people find you if they want to contact some of these services for their paddocks or their backyard or their golf course?
Yeah, our website is equineturf.com, and then on Facebook it's Equine Turf LLC.
Wonderful.
And so yeah, Facebook and the website, and
wonderful.
And then emails equineturf@gmail.com
Simple.
or Dan@equineturf.com. You can get a hold of me.
You can get a hold of you that way.
Yeah. So.
Dan Millstead with Equine Turf. That's equineturf.com for more information if you'd like to set up an appointment so you can get your place checked out and at least know where you stand, get that consultation and get that soil test and get things rolling in the right direction for you and your horses. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show, the Equus TV Network, and the Sky 97.3. Dan Millstead, known him for years, does an absolutely phenomenal job, had worked on golf courses for a really, really long time, and that's what made him really good at getting knowing grass and getting people's turf just right. So if you're struggling at all, especially, you know, I think one of the things, if you're new to Florida and you either grew up in England where grass is lush, green and thick and out of control, or if you grew up north, the grass is very different, and the soils and sands can be very different from one farm to the next, one road to the next, one part of the county to the next. And I think it's really important that people understand Florida grass and soil testing and all of those things. So we're going to have some walk and stop coming up with Dan Millstead, Dancing Pete's walk and stop. Speaking,
and if you have good grass, you better have good fences to keep your horses in on that good grass.
That was a great go into the next segment.
I'm learning.
We have a walk and stop coming up next with Tommy Turner from Equifence of Florida, and he's with none other than Dancing Pete Rodda, and they're going to dance through the paddock and tell you the yeses and the no's and woes of fences. So stay with us.
Stay with us.
Tommy.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Stephen at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Dancin Pete here, the Horse Talk Show. I'm with Tommy Turner, Da Fence Turner, and we're gonna do a walk and stop. Hey, is that a new one for you?
Yeah. New? No, this is
Oh, and look at this.
This is a standard repair for Marion County.
Screw sticking out.
Yeah, this is I've seen worse. I've seen bale and twine. I mean, I don't know if it's worse, but bale and twine.
You're not a big fan of scabbering.
Electrical tape's not common, but some people use it because it does match the black boards.
Right.
Black duct tape is probably one of the most common fixes.
Okay.
You know, the orange bale and twine is pretty noticeable, so people, you know, depending on backside property, I've seen a lot of bale and twine. Or a patch board, the Band-Aid.
So let's talk about right now, since I see a screw on one side. Screws or nails when putting in boards?
Great question. So screws are amazing. They are great as long as whoever's putting them in does not bury them inside the board. Mm-hmm. And then just later down the road, when they're drove inside the board, you got to find that screw head. Hope that you don't strip the screw head out trying to get it out. Now you got to try and beat the board off with the screw still in it. Now you're going to split the end of the board, and you're going to create more problems and more damage.
Right.
So as long as whoever's installing the screws is conscious about how far in they go with them, they can be great. Okay. Don't countersink your screw heads.
Gotcha.
Is the biggest thing if you're going to use screws. Because now you've got to get a Sawzall or a tool. You've got to have tools now to replace that.
Well, my biggest thing with screws, and you stop me if I'm wrong, I don't like them because if I ever have a problem where I've got to get a board off to get a horse out of something,
There's always that, yeah.
or something goes wrong,
It takes tools.
Yeah, I want to have a hammer that I have handy in my toolbox or in my truck that I can just beat it off and it's gone.
Screws take tools. That's the biggest, the biggest thing for me is you've got to have a drill. You're not going to do it with a Craftsman handheld screwdriver. Right. You're not going to back that screw out.
And if they're stuck on this side of the fence, you're not going to be able to get in there to do it.
Right. So yeah.
So what's the advantage?
Nails to me are your safest, most easily maintained, readily available, inexpensive compared to a screw. If you're going to screw all your boards on, it's going to drive the cost of your fence up.
Okay.
For sure.
And then what size nails? Because I use pretty long ones.
Sure. 3-inch ring shank hot dip galvanized.
Okay.
Careful with the electroplated. The new treatment in the pressure treat is causing some of the electroplated nails to corrode and actually rust.
Oh, wow.
So make sure you're getting, a good quality hot dip galvanized, and you can always ask your supplier if they are rated for the new pressure treatment.
Okay. Sounds great. Let's walk on. No nails sticking out.
Yeah.
I haven't gone through these.
So these are used boards, and whoever put them on just folded the nails back and rehung the board.
Right.
Again, is it oh, this is a good one. That's a broke post.
Yeah.
She's rotted.
Yeah.
Lack of saw.
Okay. So we've stopped here, and Tommy has noticed that we have a broken post because we can easily move it.
Yeah, she's wobbly.
And he's seen the craftsmanship of whoever put this board on was lacking what, Tommy?
A saw.
A saw.
Yeah. The overlap. I mean, it's a quick repair, again.
And we have nails sticking out instead of into the post.
Yeah. So the nails sticking out, obviously a safety issue. It is on the outside. Small dog or dog, can right. Definitely put their nose in there. Probably chances are slim, but it could happen. Happen. I mean, we're always looking at looking down the road, what could possibly happen, and that definitely is an issue.
Or somebody leaves a halter on a horse, sticks it over on this side, and accidentally grabs one of those nails.
Yep. So I mean, that's a quick repair in the field. Just throw a board up there, it doesn't fit, didn't have a saw. Battery powered chainsaws for all you farm maintenance guys.
Battery.
The handiest thing you can purchase.
Okay.
Grab one, throw it in your side-by-side, your golf cart. When you're doing these quick repairs, you've got that battery-powered chainsaw. There's no gas required. Bar oil, I think. Yeah, I think they do use bar oil. Just quick cut, make the board fit. You don't have any excess to hang anything up. Horse coming by, catch a leg on it.
Yes, sir.
Thing, a little bit of safety. Those battery-powered chainsaws aren't.
So we haven't done a nail
expensive.
party. That's what I call it, a nail party on this pasture yet this year.
Go through and
so you
tighten
go through and
up.
you hit the nails in. You usually invite your friends like Tommy. Invite Tommy over, and he brings his equipment, and we go through and fix any boards and nails, and we put flags to say we got to replace this post, and that's a good maintenance thought pattern. How often would you do that? How often would you do a walkthrough of your boards?
So the older the fence, the more often.
Okay.
Your newer fence, once every 6 months, a year. You can go a year on a brand new fence. I mean, good quality fence company should do it. On a brand new fence, they should make sure there is no nail sticking out. And then you should have a year, but it doesn't hurt to check it periodically. There's not really a maintenance plan for that.
Okay.
But the older your fence gets, definitely the more often. Probably every 6 months. If you're going to put a time frame behind it.
Every 6 months, or if you have I always say if you have an empty pasture and you're about to put horses in,
check it.
Always. It's worth the vet bill.
and most farms now have some sort of a maintenance guy, or as they're mowing, they can be looking at left side going down the line. Check that fence while you're mowing.
Yes, sir.
And then During the summer, it's every other day.
There you go. All right, let's walk on. Okay, we've stopped, and Tommy has seen something, and now he's going to talk about it.
Actually, I just come across this the other day and talking with another customer, and you can see my hand is
below the
top of the post.
Gotcha.
I don't know that this is really a safety issue or not, but it's something that was just brought up the other day, and I thought about it. Posts that are above the board height. If you've got a horse that has a halter on in the pasture, this is definitely something that could get hung up.
Yes, sir.
It's just something that is one more thing to grab a piece of equipment, whether it's on a horse or whatever it may be, right? So definitely we try and keep our post tops flush with the top of the board to allow that smooth.
So this is somebody
smooth
that
top.
didn't get the post deep enough.
Board lower. I don't.
I've never thought.
I would never try and speculate on why it's that way, because most of them are not on the fence line. So this could, and it's even lower on that one.
Right.
It could have got pushed down.
Right.
At some point, but there's many types of different fencing, and some of them require a top.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to say that it is a safety issue,
but it could.
But I could see the hazard in that. So,
well, it's the stories you always hear. Oh, that's never happened, and then somebody says, "Oh yeah, I lost a horse who hooked his halter around the top of the post because it was flush." And
1 in a million chances.
But that 1 million could be your horse.
I heard about this happening. Did not witness it.
Right.
Can't tell you 100% that it even happened, but I heard the story. Farm had cut their post tops at a real steep angle. Had a horse go over top of the fence and land on top of a post and speared the horse.
Oh.
So
even the angle needs to be not so bad.
So we keep just a slight angle on them.
Gotcha.
Keep them as blunt as possible. Again, 1 in a million chance, right? I mean, this is something that never, just never happens.
Well,
but when you take that post top and you create that spike,
yeah.
And that one horse that just decides he's going to try it.
Yes, sir.
You never know,
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
And we're back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by
Palm Chevrolet.
Your hometown Chevy experience.
And thank you to Larsen Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
So we have a very special segment. Sorry, I was absent for my return because I wanted to get Sarah Myers from Pat Myers Electric a seat. So, yes, well, we want to thank you because you partnered with Larsen Hay to do something awesome for Larsen Hay customers. And we just love that Sarah came up with this idea. And it was amazing. And that is to give away $250 of hay at each of their 2 locations in Ocala, the hay and horsepower drawing. Pat Myers Electric and Larsen Hay, 2 amazing partners, came together to do this.
Idaho's finest alfalfa and Spark of Ocala.
Oh, yeah. So we have a very special guest in the studio.
Yeah.
Who if yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget Epcot. I love
Okay, we're not talking about that.
If you're listening on the radio, we have a very, very wonderful young lady who is 6 years old, and her name is Charlotte Myers. And we thought it would be really special if she picked our 2 winners tonight. So
we were feeling pretty brave.
We were. So Charlotte,
Hey,
thank you
she's
for
doing
being
great.
with us. I see you have your Hobby Horse Equestrian Games t-shirt on, which is pretty cool. So Charlotte, we're going to pick the winner from 16th, which is the location not far from downtown Ocala. And there's hundreds of names in here, so we're going to ask you to close your eyes. Drum roll.
You're going to reach your little arm in.
And you're going to reach in and have a good reach around in there. There you go. And you're just going to grab just one. Just one name. So we need just one name. Do you have it? You can put that one down. The winner is
Jerry Mock.
Jerry Mock. You are the winner. Woo! Jerry Mock. So we got to save that one with the phone number, right?
And then this one is from Highway 27.
This one is from Highway 27. So we're going to get you to close your eyes again and stick your hand in and grab us just one
And if she pulls
winner.
my name out of this, she gets $100.
Oh, stop it.
Let's see.
Turn it up the other way. Who do you have?
Looks like Kevin D. Abate. Is that what you said?
Kevin, let's see, Kevin D. Abate, yes.
That's what I'm going with. There's a phone
Buckskin
number.
861, I see there.
There
Must
you
have
go.
a buckskin. So I want to tell you, Charlotte, high five. And can you say congratulations to both of our winners? Is that
Congratulations!
Yay! Well done.
Everybody loves hay.
I know, right? Everybody loves hay. So thank you so much to Pat and Sarah Myers for this absolutely wonderful
And thanks for Charlotte
opportunity.
for drawing the names.
Yes, she did a phenomenal job. And 2 winners, $250 worth of hay credit at Larsen Hay. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And if you filled out one of these slips, you had an opportunity to check a box that Pat Myers Electric would come and do a free inspection of your barn to keep your horses safe. If you didn't see that box, or if you didn't check it and you changed your mind, you can reach out to Pat and Sarah Myers and they would be happy to come out and inspect, no obligation, and make sure your horses are safe. Because if anybody's ever seen horses in a barn fire or heard of a barn fire, it's a horrible, horrible experience. Usually doesn't end well, sadly, and Pat and Sarah Myers want to keep you and all of your horses safe, and your little ones too. So we're very, very grateful to them. This was such a phenomenal idea and such a wonderful thing that Larsen Hay was so ready to jump in and do this. So we think it's fantastic. We just hope it happens again, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you to them for being willing to let us come out and do it. We really appreciate it.
I think it's fantastic.
Bringing the community together.
Yes, we love that. So let's jump to Complementary Horsemanship's Tip of the Week.
Dancin Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complementary Horsemanship.
This tip is sponsored by WildlifeWorksLLC.com for your unwanted wild critters removal.
And the pig.
Brought to you by Wildlife Works.
Yeah.
Here he is, Dancing Pete.
So, with having the interview with Tick and him winning Road to the Horse, I thought we would bring out one of my mentors, Pat Pirelli's tip that he always used to say is prior and proper preparation prevents poor performance. So what that means is Tick didn't just go, okay, let's show up to the show and see what we can get done. He went out and seeked the high professionals that knew how to do colt starting, and he put the time in and got the prior proper preparation before he went out there, and then he didn't get P-poor performance. He got excellent performance and actually won all 3 rounds. So same thing in life and your horses. Don't try to go to the show when you haven't properly prepared your horse for the show. It should be boring at the show is what I always tell people. And make sure you properly prepare them for the trailer so you have a good show. And you can come home without having to call me.
This is true. Flynn didn't want to leave on Saturday. I didn't call you, though.
Okay.
Eddie took care of that.
Okay.
We got to take it now to Horse Talk Show Goes to the Dogs with Ocala Dog Ranch.
The Horse Talk Show Goes to the Dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Neil Hennessy, the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch. You don't have to take your dog out and run them in the field to get them tired. Mental stimulation can tire a dog out just as easily as a physical activity. Good activities to do with your dog to have them use their nose and find things is barn hunt. Barn hunt is a wonderful sport that we play with our dogs. Also, you can get puzzles off the internet where you can hide treats, or you can even hide treats around the house. Rainy day, don't know what to do with your dog? Get out a puzzle and have your dog find treats in the puzzle. Neil Hennessy, Ocala Dog Ranch.
That was Neil. We love Neil
We
at
love
Ocala
Neil.
Dog Ranch. He does such a fantastic job. So we have a little something special here.
Since Charlotte was such a good
yes,
picker
because
and
did
she
such an-
spoke so well on
Yeah,
the
she
camera.
did. So we're going to give her a Horse Talk Show dandy brush. We call this a dandy brush. Okay, this kind of brush, a dandy brush, is the best one to use if the horse is dirty. So if he has like mud and dirt in his coat, then this one, see how stiff it feels? You feel that? See? That one is not a body brush. A body brush is for making them slick and smooth afterwards. This one, a dandy brush, takes all the dirt and stuff out from
Or
under
you
the
can
head.
call it a rough brush.
A rough brush.
You can use
We
it on
call
our
it a
donkey.
dandy brush.
Get all
Yes,
the
the
dirt out of their
donkey
hair.
would love
They're
to
gonna
be
be
brushed
shedding
with
soon.
this.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's for you. Is that good? You did such a fine job. You
say
really
thank
did.
you?
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's
Well, it's been an incredible show. We're going to have Larsen Hay reach out to our 2 names. We have Kevin and
Sarah's got it.
yes, 2 winners. Or will you guys be reaching out? Larsen Hay
We
will
will
be
reach
reaching
out. We have
yes,
their
wonderful.
information. We'll give them
Good,
a call.
fantastic.
Yep.
So 2 winners. We've got Kevin Dabate and
Jerry
we've
Mock.
got Jerry Mock. So those are our 2 winners from Hay and Horsepower. And I can only say I hope, I don't want to speak for anybody too soon, but I hope in the future they do this again, because I think all of us want to feed good quality hay to our horses. It's very important to us, and you can't get much better than Larsen Hay. So it's fantastic when you get a chance to win a $250 hay credit, because that means a lot to horse people. So very appreciative of both businesses that got involved with this. So next week we have a great show for you, because we have Buck Brannaman on the show, so we're very excited about that. We actually have several segments with him, and then we also got an amazing opportunity to talk to Rosalind, the horse communicator, and we have a series with her, so we're going to start that next week as well. And we hope you enjoy that show, whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, or not. Happy horsing around.
See you next time.
Same time next week.